Hello everybody and welcome back. I am the Sovereign and this is my court. If this is your first time in attendance, hello, please consider hitting the subscribe button before you leave our kingdom. Now I just got done. Who is calling me? Do you think I'm picking up this phone for you when I'm talking to the court? I think not. I just got done filming for Miss Columbia 2020, just did that, and I'm sitting here and I've been thinking about this topic for a while and I'm like, you know what, I'm in my t-shirt. We haven't done like a legit pageant discussion in a little bit. I remember I did a discussion with you guys when I spoke about so-called fat girls in pageants. That link is up above. You can click on it if you haven't seen it. It's probably a year old at this point, but still very relevant. But I've been having discussions with some of you in our Discord about the rampant ageism within pageants, and I think that it is time that it is spoken about. For those of you who are new, for those of you who don't know, you're not pageant fans, you're just here to see me talk about something, hey. Pageants, the majority of pageants, especially the big four pageants, have an age cap, which means they do not allow you to compete past a certain age. That age is typically the age of 28. So from 18 to 28, you are allowed to compete in the standard big pageants. Miss International, Miss Grand, Miss Earth, Miss Universe. The age cap is 28. Now, this leads to certain things, certain ramifications of this age cap is us losing out on certain queens at a specific point in their life, such as Puninka from Thailand. She's a very good queen. She was a lot of people's favorites. I raved about her, but this was her last year competing because she's aging out. And not only do we lose a lot of good queens, it to me calls into question the women's empowerment narrative of pageants in general, because this age cap is forcing women into retirement at a specific point, basically rendering them irrelevant past the age of 28, which is something I have a problem with. I have a problem with. This channel tends to be a very powerful women's empowerment type of channel. I very much do like to empower women and like to give them the sense that they can do anything and be anything, no matter who they are, where they come from, what age they are. So though I love pageants, and I catch a hot, furious attitude when any other YouTuber has something negative to say about the pageant community in general. Some of you may have seen my comments on other YouTubers' channels. I will catch an attitude. Don't talk about my community at all. But that's not to say that I'm going to be blind to the obvious and glaring missteps of the pageant community itself. I'm not comfortable with rendering these women irrelevant at a certain age as if they've suddenly expired. I don't like that feeling, and I don't like putting that feeling out into the world, because for what reason should these women suddenly be deemed unworthy to compete at that age? Now, I get at a certain point you don't want like teenagers competing against 40-year-olds. I get that. So if you're thinking that's what I'm arguing for, I'm not. But in the Discord and on other comments of other YouTube channels and on Instagram, I've seen that a lot of people take issue with the age restriction, as I do. What I fail to understand is why we don't have a system beyond that of the standard, say, Miss Universe competition itself. Like, Miss Universe is the only pageant there is. There's not separate age divisions. I know that there is a Mrs. Universe for married women, but what I don't understand is why suddenly women are unworthy of competing or seeing on stage past a certain age. Because I feel like the argument could be made that putting an upper division category above Miss Universe, that category would actually be better than the Miss Universe that we have now, simply because those women are more mature, more experienced, and more ready for a competition. Quite honestly, the current age restriction that we have in Miss Universe 18 to 28 would be the baby division of competition, because that's where the youngest women are. That's where the most inexperienced women are. They're a lot less mature and ready. And we've seen comments come from, say, Miriam Habash, she's a Miss Venezuela, a former Miss Venezuela. She said she actually regretted competing at age 19, which I totally understand why she would think that way, because you have a lot less experience and confidence when you're younger versus when you reach an older age. And in my mind, I've had this conversation with some of you. I'm thinking like, why don't we have an upper division? Because just think about it. How fantastic would it be to have former Miss Universes come back for their second crown to try to like win both divisions as they progress through the ranks? How amazing would it be to have former queens come back for their second crown, trying to like collect both crowns? How amazing would it be to have an Olivia Culpo versus, I don't know, an Iris Matnier versus Miss Vietnam from 2018 versus Pia Wurtzbach versus Catriona? Like, how amazing would it be to have that upper division for either those queens who didn't necessarily get the crown that they fought for when they were in the lower division, or those queens who won the lower division to come back to try to get the upper division crown? Like, it would be like a Miss Universe All-Stars. And I'm just trying to understand, why are these women forcibly kicked out at a certain age? That's what I have a problem with. That's what's killing me, is the fact that we are giving no meaning, no purpose to women past the age of 28. And I see you. I see some of you in the comments getting ready to send the comments, and you better watch yourself, okay? You better watch yourself, because some people like to pretend like women somehow lose their zest after 28. Have you seen my mother? Have you seen my mother? My mother looks, my mother is in her 40s. She looks amazing. So for those of you in the comments about to flap out at the lips talking about, well, you can't be amazing at 40. Crystal Stewart. I serve you Crystal Stewart. I don't think, is Crystal Stewart in her 40s? I don't know. And you can't tell because she still looks glorious. She still looks amazing. Are you going to tell me that Pia at age 35 still can't serve? Is that the argument you're about to give me? I know that's not the argument you're about to give me. I know that you're not going to tell me that Catriona Gray is suddenly ugly once she hits 36. You're not. You're not. There are plenty of women who look outstanding and are amazing at older ages, and yet they are given no honor, no recognition, no stage time. And it stinks, because in a society that loves to demean women based on their ages, when Miss Universe is working so hard to uplift women and to respect women and empower women, you would think that they would take this leap or this jump to show that these mature women can still be powerful, sexy, amazing, glorious, fantastic, inspiring. Like, you would think that Miss Universe would want to set that example. I would love, like, I think most of us pageant fans, if we sat here and really thought about it, our past favorite pageant queens are still amazing to this day. Paulina Vega is still amazing to this day, but we have no outlet to allow these women to showcase what they're capable of, their abilities, their inspiration. There's no stage for them to stand on. And I would think that women in the 30+ category need a bit more inspiration than the women in the 18 and up category, like the 18 to 28 category. The women in the 30+ would need it more, because that's when society starts getting on them about, oh, you're too old for this. Oh, you're too old for that, which, look, you guys, I need to say this right now for future me, because I know that I'm still young. Just for future reference, don't ever tell me I'm too old for anything. Okay, don't ever. I don't believe in that. Don't ever tell me act your age. The way that I am, I'm gonna be wearing crowns and tiaras until I'm 50. Act your age, I'm acting my age. This is exactly who I am. And I can't stand that saying. I can't stand when people suddenly expect different of women simply because they're older. Like, what does that even mean? Am I suddenly supposed to become boring when I hit 35? Am I suddenly supposed to be like bland? Am I supposed to lack a personality? Are my outfits supposed to be beige? Like, I don't understand when people like act your age. I'm gonna continue acting like this for the rest of my life because this is who I am. And I feel like the 30+ women have more of an excuse to be an inspiration than the 18 to 28 division, because society starts and begins to start putting them down so much more. We need that representation to show that these women are not obsolete past a certain age. A lot of pageant fans get it in their heads that these women are suddenly expired past a certain age. I cannot tell you how many times I've been in a comment section and I hear pageant fans talking about, oh my God, she looks old. Oh my God, she's too old. Oh my God, she's like, too old for what? Too old for what? Okay, I'm be honest about this. My mom is in her mid 40s and she can slay most of you watching in a bikini right now. And I feel like the world would benefit from seeing these women who are of a more mature age showing that they can still be anything, everything, sexy and beyond. I would love to see it. Like as a pageant fan, if you're a true pageant fan, just imagine the possibilities of the queens that we could be watching and like an all-stars division of Miss Universe. Are you kidding? The rematches that we could see, the resurgence of certain queens that we could see. And I feel like that type of journey would be more meaningful. Could you imagine a woman who only made top 16 coming back more mature, more developed, more graceful, more learned, more trained and winning? It would be amazing. On top of the fact that this could be a division where the whole children's aspect would be null and void. Because when you get into this age category where you have more mature women, sometimes they will have children. And I feel like, especially on my channel, I get it from, you know, a lot of mothers and women that are much older than me asking how they can have more confidence. You know, they're wishing that they could be as free as me, which I'm saying you can, sis. I don't understand why you're not. I feel like these women are the ones that need the example. They need the confidence boost of seeing an older woman, possibly a mother, doing these amazing things and being so outstanding. Like they need to see that they are still valuable within society. And I just feel like we are missing out on a whole segment of the fandom and the population that remains untapped due to this age restriction that I'm not exactly sure why it is there. I'm not exactly sure why it's there in the first place, because I get that you would want to cap it somewhere, but number one, if you're going to cap it, you need to make another division. But number two, why is it 28? Like you would think you would just round it out to 30, but then they're going to be like, but it's a whole 10 years. And I'm just like, or you don't want 18-year-olds competing against 30s. I have no mercy for the 18-year-olds. First of all, for those of you who are like, oh, but the 18-year-olds can't. If the 18-year-olds can't, they shouldn't be competing in the first place. I have no mercy for anyone who's jumping in a competition at 18, 19, and 20. I don't care. Do you think the Olympics cares that because the Olympics allows 16-year-olds to compete? They do. I was a figure skater. I'm well aware of how the Olympics works. We've had 15, 16, 17-year-olds competing against 40-year-olds. In the Olympics, it doesn't matter at what age you compete. As long as you deem yourself ready and you qualify justifiably, they don't care at what age you choose to compete. That's on you. It's on you to decide when you want to compete with the big boys. That is your fault. If you feel like you're not ready to compete on the level of the 28-year-olds, then don't compete, because no one's lowering the bar, lowering the standards simply because you're not mature enough to do well. That's completely on a competitor to decide when they're ready to compete in the big fish's pool, not for us to lower the bar so it's fair for them. Because literally no other competition does that. No other competition does that. Anywhere in the world, no one's lowering the bar for the young people. I don't care. So for those of you who are like, oh, but the 18-year-olds can't, the 18-year-olds shouldn't be there. When it comes to the Olympics, if you're going to compete in the Olympics at 16, best believe you're going to meet the same bar and standards as the 30-year-olds. And that's what makes it so amazing when 15, 16, and 17-year-olds do make it into, you know, the Olympics so young, is because they're able to match their more mature, you know, competitors. They're able to match those adults, which is why it's deserved. So if you're not able to match the 30-year-old in competition, you shouldn't be in competition. So that's why I'm just like, for those of you who are like, oh, it has to have an age limit. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. So yeah, this has just been on my mind, you know, me thinking about the women's empowerment aspect of the pageant community, but at the same time, the way the pageant community can kind of detract from its own mission statements, you know, like, yeah, we want women to be amazing and fierce and powerful, but at the same time, you're worth nothing after a certain age. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I love you. I love my pageant community. I love all the big pageant. Like, I love you guys. Miss Earth, Miss International, Miss Universe. I have respect for Miss World. Don't think I just like hate Miss World. I have respect for all the pageants and all the pageant girls, but I think there needs to be a bit of soul searching of why we're rendering these women useless past a certain point. I feel like we're missing out on a lot, and I feel like the older woman could use a bit of justice, I think. And I've spoken about this with my mother, who, like I said, is in her 40s. My mom, honestly, would be the type of woman, like, she would love to compete. There are 40-year-old women who would love to compete and look amazing. So once again, for those of you in the comments who are like, oh my God, these women are so old. Maybe your mother is, okay? But black don't crack, baby. We still look amazing at 45 plus. So if you're concerned about the aged look of some of the competitors, that's a your family issue, because that's not something we struggle with over here, okay? Our women still look amazing. So I'm just saying, for those of us who still look phenomenal past the age of 28, they would like to have their own platform, their own stage, their own opportunities to compete. And I think that they can be an inspiration to women who need it. Older women, mothers. Mothers can still slay. Mothers can still look amazing. Mothers still have purpose past the point of motherhood. Please, can we please get an All-Stars Miss Universe and All-Stars pageant? And also, I think I want to start paying attention to, I'm gonna find those divisions, because there's a few divisions. I know in the United States, there's a Miss Earth Elite division, and there is a Mrs. Universe for married women, which once again, you're locking out unmarried women of an older age. Like, why? 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 I do want to start spreading out my attention to the women that go completely overlooked for no reason. For no reason, okay? You 35-year-old glorious, like, outstanding, wonderful women who have college degrees and a beautiful body and intelligence and everything, you're going overlooked. And I'm just trying to speak up for you, because I very much would like to see you on stage. I honestly feel like the older division would be a lot better than the younger division. They would. Just imagine it. Can you imagine it? Imagine it. Imagine how amazing Pia was back in 2015. Now imagine how much better she is today. I'm just saying, can you see the future? Could you see the dream? The upper division would be outstanding, and you could give them harder questions because they're more mature. They should know. They should know. I mean, I would throw the whole book at the upper division women. I would make Miss Universe upper division so hard. So hard, and it would be amazing to watch. It would be outstanding. And we could have like legacy competitors, like the women that win both crowns, or we can have like a mother win one crown, daughter wins the other crown. Like, there's so many possibilities. Why do we not have this? Can we get some love for the older women, please? Can we get some love for the older women? I am nowhere near that category yet, but when I finally do get there, don't think for a second I'm going to change in any way. I'm going to be this woman forever. Thanks for sitting down for this little discussion with me. It's been on my mind, and I just feel like someone needs to speak about it, because why are we not giving these women love? Like, hell, we could have Sierra Burchell back on stage. Hello though. What are you thinking? Like, we can redeem so many past pageant queens. Like, oh, the dream. In the comment section below, lend me your ears, your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Have you been thinking the same thing? Do you think that there is ageism? There is ageism. That's not even a question, because if you're gonna give age limits and requirements, that's actually an ageist thing. But tell me what you think about the subject in the comment section below. Do you think we should have a new division? Do you think we should just get rid of the age requirement in general? Like, just tell me what you think. And in the meantime, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. If you are not a member of my court, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can come back and chit chat with us about all the glorious things that may happen in the future. I love you, and I'll miss you, and you know I will be back in a future video. Bye.